3, 2, 1. That hurt so much to do, but that was a quote from Kraven the Hunter. That was you can find that on YouTube. You just search up that part in Kraven the Hunter where Rhino makes a weird noise. I tried my best. I couldn't get the gurgling. I'm Adam from Your Movie Sucks. This is Sardonicast. Hello.
Wow. That sounded so good over Discord as well.
Oh, no.
I'm Alex from IHE, and I guess, Jake, you're still here, huh?
What?
What? Oh, yeah, sorry.
What the fuck?
Did you forget to hang up or something? Or?
We have a straggler.
Yeah, I was here the whole time. I really wanted to talk about Kraven.
Oh. Surprise, everyone. We've got a third host for the first time in over a year now.
Wow.
Yeah, just over a year, huh?
We were looking. We wanted to fill in the void of Alex and I agreeing on nearly every film. And
yeah.
and also just conversationally, like 3-person podcasts tend to have a bit more of a flow to it, just a little bit more of a back and forth and forth.
It has a what? Yeah. What?
More of a flow?
There's a more, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like the movie?
Yeah. No.
The French movie that,
yeah.
Sorry, you keep interrupting me. I was talking about the Oscar nomination. There's an Oscar nominated
Avatar:
movie.
The Way of Water is a masterpiece.
By the way, everybody listening,
yeah,
I'm going to remind you right now that Alex and I are technically taking a pay cut to make this happen. So we need to see the Sardonicast Patreon and members and memberships on the website and memberships on the YouTube. Those need to be increased by 150%. Okay, so if you want to see us have 3 members, and we don't want to have to let Jake go, okay? We don't want to have to make him go bye-bye. So we need those numbers up now.
Wait, you're going to make me go bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
Go bye-bye, man.
Yeah, like bye.
That's scary.
Well, like the movie Flow.
Oh, right. Like the movie. Well, I just want to say, first off, thank you. I'm honored to be another guest here,
No, you're not a guest anymore.
No, that's true. I have certain editorial powers now. I can control the conversation like I'm doing right now.
Ooh.
And also, I just want to remind everyone that for the first time in a long time, there's an American presence on this podcast. And I just want to say, God bless America. I'm going to represent the good old US of A here on this very important podcast. So thank you very much.
Back in balance.
Finally, some American represent some white male American.
Yeah. Some diversity, finally.
Cis, straight. I think. We'll not get into that.
We'll not get into that.
American. Finally, some representation on the podcast.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So speaking of the
happy
movie,
to be here. Yeah.
Speaking
happy
about the
to
movie
share my
Flow,
shitty takes. Yeah. This is going really well.
That was Well, the Oscar noms came out.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie Flow was nominated for a couple things.
I got the whole list up here if we want to go through these one by one. The 97th Academy Awards over here. Yeah, and I'm just going to go off the official website order.
We're almost at hundo.
Yeah, you're right. Only 3 more damn years of dramas.
This is gonna be like my least informed opinions here, because you guys have probably seen way more of these Oscar nominees than I have.
Sure. I mean, like, I haven't seen all of them either, but like, we usually just like to go over them when they're out and just like make quick blurbs. It's kind of a tradition. I think our very first episode on the podcast was going over Oscar noms.
It was.
Was it Oscar noms or Oscar winners? Ago. I think it was noms. Yeah, it was.
I think it was noms. Yeah. There were a few I'm missing too, because like The Brutalist, for example, only came out last Friday for me. Yeah, like 3 days ago, as of recording. So And I still haven't seen like Wicked and big ones like that.
Did you see it? Did you see it yet?
I haven't seen it yet. No, I need like a chunk of time.
I know, right?
With how long it is, and it's like a city away. I've got to go see it in as well. So it'll wind up being like a 7-hour like round trip just to see the Brutalist. But I want to see it there
in 70mm.
You guys haven't seen it? I have. I feel like a terrible parent. I have a 7-week-old child, and I abandoned him to go see the Brutalist. It was like a 6-hour experience.
Just take the baby to the Brutalist. They'll be fine.
I think he would have liked it, actually. I think he would have had some good taste.
There's an intermission to change the diaper. That's why it's there.
Oh, yeah. That's true. It was a good intermission, too. It was like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that they actually did that. So I haven't seen The Brutalist yet. It was playing at TIFF. I got sick at TIFF, and even if I wasn't sick at TIFF, there were only like 2 screenings, and they were conflicting with like 4 other movies that I wanted to see because of the length. And I was like,
it's so long.
You know, I like Brady Corbett. I liked his last movie, but not like masterpiece like. And his last movie was not 3.5 hours long, and so I was kind of like, I had to make some decisions. And then while I was at TIFF, it was getting a lot of buzz at Venice, and I was like, fuck. Did I make the wrong decision? Whatever, I'll catch it later. And now it's later, and I'm sick with a different chronic condition, and I'm trying to find the right moment that I want to be out of the house for that amount of time. But I'll try to make sure to catch it before I can't, because there are some 70mm showings happening here right now, and I would like to. But
can I make a prediction?
What?
Go for it.
I think Adam, you're going to give it a 4 out of 10, and I think Alex, you're going to give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Why?
Okay, I saw your rating.
I mean, I guess he can't tell me why, but whatever.
Yeah, true.
I just have a sense about it. It's very uninformed, but I feel like
Is that an earnest prediction?
That's my earnest prediction. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
That's your gut. Okay.
Alex and I usually aren't that far off, so this would be like a pretty unique ratings discrepancy.
I don't know, there are a couple on here that we're divided on. But I mean, seeing as we brought up The Brutalist already, that is conveniently where the list starts with the actor in a leading role. We got Adrian Brody for The Brutalist.
Yeah.
Tim Cham for A Complete Unknown.
Fuck you.
Coleman Domingo from Sing Sing.
Yeah.
You guys can... whenever I say this actor's name, I feel like I always get it wrong.
Please.
And people tell me it's wrong. Voldemort. Is it Ray Fiennes? Ralph Fiennes? I feel like I've heard like every damn way of saying his name. Like, how do you guys say his name?
I think it's pronounced Rafe the Movie Maker.
Rafe the Movie Maker.
It's pronounced Epstein.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I always heard Rafe, but it looks like Ralph. So
I pronounce it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
Hell yeah.
Ralph for Conclave. And Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Yeah, so I haven't seen A Complete Unknown either, and that's more from just lack of interest.
Yeah,
I went and saw Better Man myself out of the biopics that are out right now.
Yeah, you know, I'd be interested in seeing A Better Man. A Complete Unknown is, I think, the one film out of every single nomination this year that I'm going to be downloading a cam rip. Everything else I'm either doing digital or in theaters. A Complete Unknown, I'm like, I'm sorry, James Mangold biopic, what am I going to be missing watching this on someone's fucking camcorder? I don't think I'm going to be missing a single fucking thing.
You've seen it, right?
Literally not my thing.
I've seen it. And, you know, as the one American on this podcast, I have to say, for shame, Bob Dylan is a national treasure.
Does it capture him well, though?
I think that Timothée Chalamet shines on the screen. I think that he brings his spirit to life as if he were still alive, which he is, of course. But I think that I enjoyed it, but I'm also a freak for Bob Dylan. I think Street Legal is his best album. You know, I can't be objective about it. And I think that's what my review was all about. Like, it is a super traditional musical biopic. And if you like the subject, then you're probably going to like the movie. It's very safe, but also it was more music focused than I expected. I really liked that aspect because I thought that the performances were really good.
I'm still not watching it in the theater. It better come out on digital in the next 2 weeks, or I'm watching a cam rip. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I can't do that one.
It's more the Mangold thing that kind of pissed me off.
Yeah,
more than anything. It feels like I've got to spin around Indiana Jones like optics right now. I've got to make sure I don't wind up in that jail.
But
otherwise,
jail.
who would be the pick for this? Who do you want to see?
I mean, I still have yet to see 3 out of 5 of them. Sing Sing's good, and Coleman is good in it for sure. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like Brody or Sebastian could change my mind about who my favorite is, because right now it's just like between Sing Sing and Conclave are the ones that I've seen, and if that's the case, then I guess Coleman. But I mean, Ralph was good too, but like I don't know. There's no strong winner in my mind right now. We'll see how much I like The Brutalist and The Apprentice. So
yeah, I especially need to wait for Brutalist. But I was happy to see Sebastian Stan in there.
Yeah.
There wasn't much speak around The Apprentice when it came out, so I'm glad to see a couple of awards in there for it, because I thought that, especially as far as performances are concerned, Sebastian Stan and Jeremy Strong really stood out for me in that movie. And I guess speaking of, we can move to supporting actor in a supporting role now. We got Yura Borisov from Anora.
Nice.
A nice pull. I was really happy to see.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. I'm so glad he got like plucked from that, because it definitely deserved.
Yeah, one of the best parts.
Kieran Culkin from Real Pain.
A Culkin with an Oscar nom. Has that happened before?
I know, crazy.
Is this the first?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
It must be.
Eat shit, Macaulay.
Edward Norton from A Complete Unknown. Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong from The Apprentice. Good collection here, even though, again, haven't seen The Brutalist yet or A Complete Unknown, but the other 3 you can't really go wrong.
Let's give it to Culkin to make Mac mad.
Yeah.
I feel like the Jeremy Strong and Culkin noms are kind of like Succession related. I feel like they're trying to, the Academy's like, yes, Succession was really good. You guys should get a couple of nominations.
That's kind of funny,
I haven't seen the performances, but yeah.
We got to move on. This is going to be a long episode. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, you're right. Actress in a leading role, we got Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon from Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison from Anora, Demi Moore from The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here.
They're all great. I want Demi to win it just because it would be fun.
Yeah.
We'll see what, Carla Sofia Gascon did a great job, but people would be so mad because it's Emilia Perez. So people would be mad if she won.
Well, isn't her like a nomination historic too?
It is.
Trans and, yeah.
It's the first.
It's funny that everyone's like pissed about it.
Yeah. Whether you hate trans people or not, you're like pissed about it for some reason.
Yeah, I didn't love that film or what it was really bringing. It didn't really feel like an Oscar-worthy film to me.
Sure.
But
I still have to see it.
I don't know. There's always like these in every year. There's sort of kind of odd picks for me.
Yeah, it's people saying it's like as bad or worse than like Green Book or Maestro or Crash. Like, I'm sorry, that's not honest.
The conversation around it sucks. Like it's reductive in a way where they're not even really talking about the movie.
Exactly. It's the same conversation as like Sound of Freedom, where people go, if you don't support this movie, you're a pedophile, except it's the opposite direction. It's like, you're racist if you like this movie. Like, okay, fuck, it's different people are judging different things. I'm judging things like the cinematography, right? So like, yeah, we'll have a more detailed conversation about this in the coming days. This is not going to fit into this episode.
I need to watch this now. Yeah.
It's another cancer media conversation in the realm of like The Last of Us 2, where no one's actually talking about the art anymore. Yeah. It's just so fucking annoying.
Oh. That's what I love. That's what I love about the Oscars, It just, you aren't even arguing about anything.
There's definitely, the controversy of the films of this year, it seems like, for sure. Actress in a supporting role then. We got Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez.
No opinion.
Yeah, from what I've seen, no strong opinion, but I haven't seen 3 of the 5, so...
Felicity Jones is amazing in The Brutalist, but I don't think she's going to get it. Yeah.
Why not?
She's British. I don't know.
Yeah. Too British.
Yeah, fuck them. Yeah, again, out of what I've seen there, I don't feel like the Saldana performance is an Oscar-worthy one, in my opinion, but
it would be so funny.
Yeah.
It would be funny because people would get mad.
Perez is going to walk away with something. I'd be shocked if it didn't get
13 noms, right?
Like, with how many nominations it has.
It could pull an Irishman. Yeah.
True. Animated feature film, then. This is the most solid category, probably, all around. Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance, Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. I only haven't seen Flow, as you were joking earlier.
Your pick Snail or what?
And I don't care about Inside Out 2 at all, but yeah, my personal pick would be Snail, but I'd be happy to see Feathers McGraw with an Oscar, or I hear really good things about Flow. I'll check that out before the ceremony itself.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that one will win.
Is this, like, every time a Wallace and Gromit movie comes out, is it usually your favorite of the noms?
God, what was it up against last time? It was a long time ago now, like 20 years ago, 2005 or something.
I think it might have been up against the Spider-Verse at one point, so I don't know if that... I don't know.
No, I don't know if we get them that regularly. But no, not necessarily. But
Okay.
I am partial to the W and G, so yeah.
I haven't seen a single one.
I think it's interesting that Flo got the Globe. That was kind of surprising.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming, but I mean, I'm glad it is.
Yeah.
It's
I feel
time to go and see
like that
rewarded.
means it could happen for the Oscars, but you never know. A lot of the Academy voters are insane. Especially with this category.
Which is why I'm surprised Moana 2 wasn't on here. I thought they just put it on there because they don't care, or like because it made $1 billion.
They're either starting to care or starting to pretend to care. Like, there's been some improvements, you know?
Starting to pretend to care is a good way to kind of summarize the the Oscars. To be honest. I'm going to skip over animated short films.
Skip over all the shorts. Fuck them.
Yeah.
You're not even feature
Let's
length.
go straight to cinematography then.
Just make a movie.
Brutalist in here, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. So we have some names we haven't seen yet in here.
Yeah. This will give me a good excuse to check out Maria. I like Pablo Larraín, so. And I haven't seen Nosferatu yet, but... Dune had great cinematography, but...
So did Nosferatu, but...
Exactly.
Yeah, I really need to see The Brutalist before I can have a strong opinion on this. From what I've seen, though, again, I don't think I would give Perez that one, despite some of the staging, I guess, and some of the musical numbers being fun.
All right. Costumes is going to Wicked. We don't even need to talk about it. It's going to Wicked. All right. Move on.
Yep. Directing, we got Sean Baker, Honora, Brady Corbett, The Brutalist, Mangold for a Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard.
Jacques.
Oh, God. Jacques.
Audiard.
You got to do the French one.
Jacques Audiard.
For Perez. And The Substance as well, which I was happy. Yeah, thank you.
I'm
for saving
trying.
me on that one.
Very happy
I was happy
about
to see
that,
The Substance get mentions at all, to be honest.
I told you it could happen.
More and whatever.
Remember 3 months ago you said it couldn't happen, and I said there's a chance.
I guess I was wrong, yeah.
I was right. It's not just a horror film. It's a feminist horror film. Remember that.
That makes all the diff.
I'm very happy she has a nom for director, though.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like her career is just going to open up. Like, she gets to make whatever the fuck she wants to next. Isn't that dope? I'm so excited to see whatever she comes up with next.
Yeah, just as soon as I saw it was nominated, I just was thinking about that ending scene with the crowd and what happens there. Just like, yes, this is now like an Oscar nominated movie.
And also, like, have you seen so Mubi posted like a behind the scenes kind of like video, just like a featurette of the making of for The Substance.
Oh, yeah.
She's like right there, just like literally spraying blood on the crowd with like this huge hose. She's having a blast.
Yeah,
like,
I love it.
Like what a passionate and fun project. There's so much like the life of cinema and the love of filmmaking is just throughout that project. I really hope it wins Best Picture because that would just be the best outcome.
That would be funny.
Yeah. People wouldn't even know whether or not to be mad. They'd be so confused.
Should I go over the documentary features? Because I haven't seen any of these folks.
Black Box Diaries was awesome. Looking forward to No Other Land. And the rest I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I'll just skip over documentary short film as well. Let's go to editing then. Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and Wicked. Editing, my first major snub kind of pops into my head here. Whereas,
are you gonna say
where's Challenges?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oof.
Where the fuck is Challenges?
That's a fucking weird one. Yeah, for this year, for like it won the Globe for score. It's Trent and Atticus. The Academy clearly likes them, but I guess they forgot about them, or they decided you have too many Oscars. Give someone else a chance.
Right, yeah, just sick of you.
Or they just didn't like Challengers and they let that, kind of, I don't know, just inform whether or not it was eligible or deserving of any noms.
Maybe.
No Luca anywhere. He released 2 films.
There's 2 Luca picks as well, though.
I was hoping fucking Daniel Craig for actor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You could easily get rid of somebody in that category.
Definitely deserved it.
You could get rid of Ralph. Rafe?
Rafe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ralph.
Yeah, I would swap those in a second.
Yeah.
I feel like the energy behind Luca was divided between challengers and queer. So I mean, I don't know all the politics behind it, but I know that like I felt like the energy was like, all right, let's make queer the Oscar contender. Challengers is just the fun one, but I think it should have been.
But they were 2 different studios, so it's not like they were making that decision for their 4-year consideration campaigns. One was A24 and one was like true. MGM. So they could each focus entirely on the same film. I just don't know what happened. He just got absolutely snubbed this year, so. Fucking MGM releasing a film also this year. It's just like, I haven't seen it in so long.
Who's the cinematographer that Luca uses? What's his name? It's really long.
Jeff.
No,
Jeff.
I don't.
I don't remember.
But he did like I think he did Challengers and Queer and
nice.
Just an and Trap. Just incredible cinematographer.
Yeah,
I love this. I wish I remembered their name, but yeah, should have been nominated.
You don't love him enough, apparently.
I guess not.
Yeah, that crazy snub for Challengers. I would love to see a cinematography nom for that.
Yeah. My current pick, I guess, would be Anora for editing though, otherwise. On rewatching.
Yeah.
Definitely picked up the way it was put together in ways I didn't notice on that first time.
Yeah, the editing does a lot in that movie.
Yeah, it's really well edited.
I don't know why Wicked is fucking on there at all. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
It's more to do with, like, the planned out storyboarding than the edit. I guess that is involved in the editing choices, but it's not like intelligent editing like Anora. It's just, the necessary editing you have to do when you have so many different angles doing a musical number in Wicked, I don't know.
Yeah.
Different ideas, I guess. Why is Conclave on editing? Sorry, excuse me. Why the fuck is Conclave there?
That is a standout kind of odd one.
That's insane. I hate Conclave. The nominations for Conclave are so much more egregious than Emilia Perez, in my opinion. Like, Conclave got a fucking score nom. That was the worst part about the movie. What are you doing? They're just tossing at noms for no reason. Oh my god.
Neither of them feel like big Oscar movies to me.
Yeah. But Emilia Perez is problematic, so that's the one people care about.
Yeah. So that's editing done. Yeah. International feature film then. Brazil, I'm Still Here. Denmark, The Girl with the Needle. France with Emilia Perez. Germany, The Seed of the Sacred Fig. And Latvia with Flow.
I think I'm Still Here has a chance. It's the only one that's nominated for Best Picture other than Emilia.
Yeah.
So
that would make sense. Yeah,
it would be funny if Emilia Perez won, but
yeah, it's getting something. I don't. They might just give it to this one.
Yeah,
Emilia Perez sweep, just best.
Oh my god, best
international
picture.
Best picture. Uh-huh.
That'd be funny. Like, I wouldn't even be mad. It's not deserving of those things for sure, but like, what? Like, this happens at the Oscars all the time. It's not nearly as egregious as Green Book. Green Book had like zero qualities.
I mean, what to you is the worst Best Picture winner ever?
Best Picture winner ever? Oh my god. Well, I would have to get a full list, but from memory, Crash and Green Book are pretty fucking egregious. I really, nobody fucking remembers like struggling to find the name of it even. What was that one where they were like, the Washington Post, we are uncovering the Catholic Church's pedophilia or something.
Oh, Spotlight?
Spotlight, yeah. Spotlight. Nobody fucking remembers that shit. People already don't even remember...
I like Spotlight.
Yeah, you like it, but it's so forgettable.
I think about it every day.
Nobody remembers Coda. That was fine. But that was just like, it's fine, right? Like... That's forgettable. Yeah, in terms of like egregiously bad ones, Crash and Green Book are two that stick out particularly.
And Crash is way worse than Green Book in my mind.
Yeah.
Crash like really stands out to me. It's like what is this doing here?
Crash has aged terribly.
Nomadland or whatever is like kind of forgettable and people aren't really talking about it, but I can at least see why it's there. And even Green Book within certain bounds.
Yeah. All those movies are good. The Girl with the Needle is the only one I haven't seen, but I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah, makeup and hairstyling. We got A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked.
What's going to win?
Oh, The Substance. That's got to be it, right?
I mean, in a fair world, yes.
What's going to win and what deserves it, yeah. I think Wicked probably gets it then, right? Whereas I'd want The Substance.
Well, she was green the whole time, and that's
true.
a lot of makeup. And a different man, maybe? But I think they would have to have watched that movie, actually. So, probably not. I think they're going to vote for Wicked because they've all seen Wicked. I think that's how that one's going to work.
Shout out Nosferatu as well. Like, I don't think it's going to win, but...
How would you feel about a Wicked Best Picture win? How would that feel for you guys?
It would be funny.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm going Wicked Best Picture. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, okay, let me just look at Best Picture noms and let me think if there's like a worst case scenario for me. I think probably Conclave. Like, I don't think I would be mad at well, actually, I haven't seen A Complete Unknown yet. That might make me mad, but right now, just Conclave.
I love how that's like the most mild medium. Like everyone just kind of likes it, but
those piss me off the most.
Yeah,
when they like it's not fucking earning anything. Sorry, did it get a cinematography nom? What did it get? It got editing. That's insane. That's like actually fucking what the.
Yeah, I don't get that, but
whatever. Let's move along. I'm sorry.
Let's do music original score then. Got The Brutalist, Conclave, there it is, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. And somehow no
challengers.
Trent in there. Yeah, that's the big one because that's the easy pick for me. But out of what we're presented with, I actually don't know because I didn't like the music in Conclave or Emilia Perez. I haven't seen Wicked yet, and I thought the music was just fine in The Wild Robot.
Yeah, this is for score also. So like, for the fact that Emilia Perez and Wicked are both there, I think it just lends to the theory that the Academy just kind of read the first word of the category and then just like,
there's music in these.
Remember when it was like sound editing and sound mixing, the two different categories, and then they changed it to one because like nobody understood what the difference was between the two. They're like, we got to do one category because nobody understands what the difference is. I think this is one of those. They don't understand the difference between the score and the original music. So Wicked and Emilia Perez are on there for no reason, and challengers had to get pushed to the side. Why the fuck is Conclave?
It's one of those two.
That pisses me off.
It will probably win it too.
Oh my god!
If I had to bet, Wicked or Perez, I reckon.
The Brutalist. It's got to be The Brutalist at this point. Such good music.
They should do a write-in for challengers.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah,
that'd be sweet.
I'd be happy with The Brutalist, honestly. That'd be a good one. Yeah. But yeah, challengers, robbed.
Yeah, I heard the score is great in that. So.
Music original song, we got El Mal from Emilia Perez, The Journey from the 6888, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Emilia Perez again, and Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late.
I think it would be weird
mix here.
The fact that Emilia Perez has 2 noms means that it's probably going to get it. The songs I enjoyed from Emilia Perez, El Mal is like the popular one. I didn't like that one that much. Yeah? It's kind of weird. It's like, as someone who did enjoy some of the songs from it, like, it's the Academy just always nominates the weirdest ones. Like, oh, okay, this one's the hit? All right. But that usually happens to me with, like, just, I don't know, regular music listening anyway. Like, my favorite tracks from Brat, I looked them up, the metrics. I'm like, these are the 2 least listened to ones. Like, fuck. What the hell's wrong with me? But, whatever. Why not?
Yeah, I got no strong opinion on this category.
Oh, did you hear that this year they're not going to be performing original songs? Usually at the original song category, they do a live performance. They're not doing that this year.
I wonder why. It might work out when Perez wins it and they can not have to...
Because there's no I'm Just Ken. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a standout moment. That was like the one thing that people were sharing from the Oscars last year, like as a positive thing. Like the Oscars has been desperate for positive, like social media posts and news for so long. Like every year previous, it was like, how did they fuck up this time? What terrible thing happened to the Oscars? Finally, they get one news cycle where something cool happened and people liked it. They're like, no more of that. We can't have that anymore. Sorry. I don't know.
I think it's a smart move. I think that they kind of know, like, there's not really any big breakout songs that people are going to care about. I don't know. I get it.
They should have nominated a Joker, too.
They should have, yeah.
They're not original
Lady
songs,
Gaga.
Oh, yeah. The musical list, not on any of these lists, yeah.
That's true. Get Frank Sinatra up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we're there. We're at Best Picture. So... we got a big list here. Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked.
I've seen 7 of them out of 10, which is nice.
Yeah, I haven't even seen Conclave, but I'm just, you know what? Well, fuck Conclave.
Yeah.
Fuck that
Hell
movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Stupid movie.
We made the right choice.
I'm just flatlined with that movie. I just don't feel anything towards Conclave. It just...
Those are the worst kind.
I remember some of the imagery. I actually kind of like the first act, or like what it was setting up outside of the music it was insisting on using.
Oh no, who's going to be the Pope? Oh, it's so consequential to people that aren't Catholic. Who's going to diddle kids this time around? Fuck. Who cares? Oh my God. It doesn't even matter. The outcome of the film doesn't matter. It's the most inconsequential fucking thing in the world.
Is this why you hated Spotlight?
Oh, this is why I hate Spotlight? Yeah, maybe I have a... Don't care about whatever's happening in the Catholic Church. I just want to do my own thing. It's just
no
boring.
No one cares about that.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Who cares?
I'm glad Dune wound up in there because there was the whole stuff with the soundtrack being snubbed as well, I guess, because of that rule of reusing a certain amount of what you've written for the discounts it or something. It's like 40-50% or so. So it couldn't be in the soundtrack category.
I also have an article open for that because basically Hans Zimmer's argument is like, you know, when you're creating a score for a film that is a sequel, you do kind of, you know, want to reuse things like themes, you know, the parts of the music that have a direct connection with either a character or an emotion or some sort of like theme in the film. Like that's intelligent composition when you're connecting
it's thoughtful.
the pieces of music to specific things that are happening. And when you're doing a sequel, it's like, okay, well, technically a chunk of this has been published before, but it's a part of, the...
And it's the second half of the same story, too. It's not like a different book or a sequel that way. It's like the second half of the same story.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. That seems like a dumb rule for that one, but glad it got into Best Picture.
It's a conversation to have, and you could convince me either way on it, because I don't want I don't want fucking what's the other big composer's name? John Williams. I don't want him to just win every year for just doing da 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 da, or just the Star Wars music. Like, if you there should be some sort of compromise in between just recycling the exact same song again versus reincorporating it into a new thing, like that. I'm sure there's a compromise somewhere there.
But this is one where I actually feel like the reincorporation of the music was a step above what Zimmer's been doing for a while.
Yeah,
to be honest, I actually felt like, it's like the Zimmer used to know type thing. Like, you clearly really cared about this, and put like a step above level of effort into it, especially for part two's use of the music.
Do you feel like it's a wider backlash to it being more public knowledge that he uses like a team of composers a lot of times?
That's the open secret. And I've heard from a lot of people in the music field that it's kind of a thing that everybody knows. So who knows? I don't know. Yeah, he just slaps his name on things that his students compose. Is apparently what's been happening for a lot of it. But who knows? Like, I mean, he's obviously, theoretically, he has some talent, right? I don't know. I don't think this is an Elon Musk situation or anything.
Yeah, he's probably just tired and old. Like, I'd be tired at that point, I'm tired now. I'm 30 years old.
And drunk all the time.
Did Hans Zimmer just do a salute at the Oscars? What the fuck?
Oh my God. It was Roman. He was hailing a taxi at the Oscars.
It was a Dune salute. He doesn't deserve this hate. I'm sorry, Hans Zimmer. You're good. You're cool.
Yeah, well, he deserves hate sometimes.
What we got left? Production design, The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked.
Wicked's getting it probably, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking Wicked's probably got that.
Yeah. Sound.
Yeah, it's going to win something.
God damn. So if, Jake, as the person who's seen A Complete Unknown, is there anything about the sound that deserves it being on the nom, or do they just go, this is about music, kind of, so the sound probably makes sense?
The second thing.
Because we got Complete Unknown, Amelia Perez, and Wicked all on here, which is like, it just leads me to believe that because they're primed to think about sound because they're music films, that they're on
very
here.
literal.
So
like,
true.
fucking The Substance could have been on here easily. The Substance had fantastic sound design. There's so much creativity and actual choices that went into the sound design of The Substance. Anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, just watch the movie again and think about it, and it'll become really apparent to you. Like, the Foley in that film's like incredible. It's genuine. Like, so many close shots of just like, it's about the visceral nature of the shot. Like, we're taking you out of this mundane wide shot. We're bringing it in. We're going to make you hear the sounds of eating shrimp right now. Right? Like, there's so many great shots like that. I think it's insane that it's not nominated for sound. That was one of the best parts.
Yeah, no, A Complete Unknown, it's basically like the other sounds besides singing that are significant are the people booing Bob Dylan in the crowd. Like, you suck! Play acoustic, you loser! And I can't think of anything. I mean, there's like sounds of cars. It's exactly what you said. It's just like, oh yeah, there's music in that. That's a sound.
It's always so depressing when you can kind of like rationalize how the Oscars came to a decision by just doing like, what's the dumbest thing we can think of? Like when Trump keeps talking about how like, oh, they're letting criminals in the country, and then eventually people figured out like, oh, he thinks that the word asylum, like asylum seeking. He literally thinks that means insane asylum. And he's just confused. And like eventually you get there that it's like, oh, this is the dumbest possible explanation, but this is the only explanation we have. We get a lot of those with the Academy. Like those exact same types of dumb explanation. Like, oh, you think sound because there's music in it. Oh, I get it. That's why the editing winner is always like the most editing. Whichever had the most editing wins editing.
The most cuts. Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, embarrassing.
No, I think you could make the argument too that Emilia Perez has so many awards because of its representation and the very surface level of, oh, well, there's a trans character, you know. This must be we're good people. We're all, you know, kind, good people. So this must be a deserving film. And I haven't seen it, so I have no idea. But it's just there's such a dissonance between all of the people who review it and the people in the voting for the Oscars. I don't understand it. It's so strange.
Yeah, you could make that argument to Emilia Perez for sure. I think that probably does exist. However, at this point in time, it exists in both directions. There's a lot of white people who don't really have an opinion on this movie that are pretending to hate it because they think that it's progressive too at this point as well. So that argument goes both ways for Emilia Perez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, seeing as we're on sound, the two movies that jump into my head that are nowhere on this list anywhere are Furiosa and Civil War, actually. A couple of films that aren't on here anywhere.
True, yeah.
But visual effects, speaking of those kind of movies, Alien Romulus, Better Man, Whoop Whoop, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. So the monkey movies coming in here. Carrying, clearly.
You know,
I'm amazed Better Man got on here, but
yeah, me too.
Cool.
There's a lot of weird conversation about that film on the internet. People are like, I don't care, I've never heard of this person before. It's like
very weird.
I don't know.
Perez has kind of like steamrolled it.
Like there's a good chunk of movies that are biopics that you don't have to have heard of the person before to care or to watch it.
Yeah. That's often like why I want to watch a biopic, to like learn.
Yeah, when you don't know
about someone significant, or in a way that about someone I don't necessarily know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that as a critique is funny and weird.
I don't know. As an American, I take pride in being ignorant about other cultures. I'm very proud that I don't know who Robbie Williams is, and no one's gonna fucking force me to.
The thing is about Robbie Williams, like I've heard of them, and I can probably guarantee you that like I've heard some of their songs. I wouldn't be able to name them, but if somebody played me one of their most popular ones, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, I recognize that, I've heard it. In the same way that that's any American pop artist or musician or whatever, right? Like it's the exact same thing for like fucking Bruno Mars. Like I know who that is, couldn't name you a song, I'm sure I've heard them. Right? So why are people acting like so weird about Robbie? Like is it genuine? Like people just in the US are just really anti-Robbie?
I think it must be, because if it was like Ed Sheeran or Taylor Swift, I don't think anyone would be saying that. Because I saw some people saying, oh, it's self-indulgent, but it's like, isn't that kind of baked into the cake with biopics, that they're kind of naturally self-indulgent? That's kind of the point of them, is to indulge in oneself and tell their like life story. Like, I don't get that as a critique of like why you don't want to pay attention. And also it's like you got the monkey element. He's not just Robbie Williams, he's an ape man. Like is that not intriguing to you? That's crazy. That's the only reason I saw it.
Was it good?
I liked it. It was nothing about it should have really worked for me, but the craziness of just leaning into that and doing what I wanted from like a Bohemian Rhapsody, where it's like just be honest and like ugly and like show me the real like torment of what this fame has done to you. It's like, wow, they're actually willing to do that in this crazy movie about someone I don't really care about, and with this monkey framing, and this is just weird and interesting, and props, and no one has gone to see it, so I mean, shout out.
Rise of the Planet of the biopic of the Robbie Williams.
I liked it more than Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is up for visual effects, I guess.
I find it funny that you watched that.
Why? They're fire.
Oh yeah, you like them, don't you?
Yeah. They're like solid monkey Hollywood movies. They're like so inoffensive. Like they just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
They are what they say on the tin type thing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like monkeys.
You can just imagine them at home and you get the same experience. They're exactly what you expect.
No, no, you watch them on your projector at home.
They're exactly what you expect. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I don't know who deserves to win. The deep fake alien Romulus is now
oh God,
officially Oscar Noms.
I liked that movie. I really enjoyed it, but then that stupid deepfake technology it looked horrible. Also, just don't do it. It was just so unnecessary.
Yeah.
What's funny is I heard that they actually touched it up for the home video release, which I think is cheating.
That is cheating.
Yeah, like what the fuck, assholes?
Yeah, I saw about that as well.
Don't release it.
But I went to check it out, and like it looks the same to me.
Okay.
It looks just as distracting. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope Dune Part 2 would be a good win, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kingdom of the is probably going to get it because there's a lot of like promotion about the special effects. They released on the 4K Blu-ray. They have a version of the film where you can literally watch it without the special effects, like the exact same shots.
Yes.
The raw, uncut version.
That's so cool.
Unfortunately, it is like the film on top and then the raw, uncut on the bottom. So you can't just watch you have to watch it with the comparison, unless there's like a different way that I don't know of yet. But I like that exists. So everybody fucking buy the Blu-ray. I think it's only on the 4K one because I want to see more of that shit. I think that should be a law, right?
Standard feature.
Yeah, like you should be forced to show us what the movie looks like without the special effects. No, literally, that should be a fucking law. Okay, we need that weird ass Harrison Ford movie with the guy pretending to be a dog. Without the CG.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Forgot about that.
Yeah, we need that. We need that. We need all the Marvel movies without the CG. And then it would, you know how great that would be for creativity, for memes. You know?
But I think they're too afraid to do that because
it ruins the
I think
magic.
people would realize how much is just how much is the CG
nothing.
Somebody back when the that shitty movie 2012. There was a trailer for that movie.
That awesome movie 2012?
Yeah. There was a trailer for that movie, and most of the trailer is just like, like all these buildings like falling over, and then you cut to like the interior shot of John Cusack in the car going like, whoa! Somebody took that trailer and then removed all the special effects shot. Not in the same way that like getting a raw, like despecialized version of it would be, but like literally just only included the car shots, and it just looks so goofy of just like and it's not convincing at all. You're like, wow, are you even trying to act? And it really just goes to show, like when you're cutting in between a shot of someone's reaction and then a shot of what they're reacting to, it really helps your brain fill in the gaps and makes it more convincing. It's not like it looked great anyway, but like seeing it stripped down to just the performances is just kind of like damning in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's also kind of why I want to see these movies without special effects, is because they are very reliant. A lot of them.
Yeah.
I like that did that though. Because I think they're also trying to like promote the idea that like these actors are really performing. Okay, it's not just the CG doing it for them.
I'm trying to think of like the craziest movie to take away that would be.
I would love the Avatar movies to do that.
Yeah, well, Avatar would be good, or like the Beowulf Zemeckis movie or whatever. Like
Polar Express.
Could you imagine how much of an educational tool that would be to young and aspiring filmmakers? Could you imagine? We're missing out on so much information. That should be law. Somebody call. I'm going to call my best friend Donald Trump and Elon Musk and tell them about this. I think they can do it.
Okay.
We're going to get another EO, but not the donkey movie in executive order.
Yeah. Well, I guess when you're the 51st state, I guess you'll be able to write to your senator or something.
I'm going to be president of Canada. We're going to fulfill the prophecy.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I want to be a state. Handing out all these states to everybody. I want to join them.
You don't want to be a state.
What have you got to lose in the UK, right?
Yeah, please, just absorb us. Christ.
If you became a state of the US, would things get any worse? Potentially, even. Like, what's the worst that can happen to the UK?
Economy will probably get better.
Yeah, right? Your healthcare might get better. Like, I think things would only improve
massively.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, no joke.
You get movies at the same time.
Yeah, finally. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's crazy. You have to wait for movies all the time. That's so sad.
Yeah, we used to get them early, but it's like just switched in the last 5 years.
Yeah. Thanks, Obama.
Yeah. That was who did it.
Yeah. Getting political here.
Right, we're nearly done here. We got two more, both writing adapted screenplay first. We got A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Anything jump out to you guys there?
Nickel Boys?
I don't know why. I wouldn't put Emilia Perez for writing. That one's kind of weird. Conclave sucks.
Conclave.
Yeah, fuck Conclave.
Give it to Challengers. Somebody write in Challengers. I want the potion seller to have an Oscar nom. Fuck everybody.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Whatever. Queer would have been a great screenplay pick for adapted.
True.
Jesus.
For adapted.
Yeah.
Could have had both.
Actually adapting a William S. Burroughs novel. Like, that's a difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
To make that a cohesive screenplay.
Right.
Academy doesn't know shit. Fuck them.
Have you guys seen Nickel Boys?
Not yet. I'm going to be seeing that next week, hopefully.
No.
But I'm looking forward to it very much.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah, I want to see that.
And it's like based off of a novel, I think.
Yeah, Colson Whitehead novel.
Yeah.
And let's wrap this up then on writing, original screenplay. Honora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5th, and The Substance.
I think The Substance has got it. Do you know why?
Maybe. Really, over Honora?
Yes. Do you know why? Because the Academy thinks of writing in concepts.
Oh, yeah.
And The Substance is a good concept. It's like a really good kind of like Black Mirror concept, right? Remember, Get Out won Best Screenplay. I think this is a similar situation where they just like fucking Promising Young Woman won Best Screenplay, right? This is feminist. It tickles the good concept, kind of like horror weird thing going on. Mm-hmm. That's all they care about. I think The Substance has got it, and I'm happy to see it win an Oscar. So,
Then again, The Brutalist has the most writing. So,
yeah,
longest screenplay goes to
No, I think your theory is right about The Substance. I feel like they just throw it to the fun one for original screenplay.
It's a concept. I've seen some screenshots of the screenplay for The Substance. It's so funny. Like you just the level of excitement and detail and kind of like non-traditional writing in terms of how you would imagine a screenplay should be. Coralie is just like, and then you see it takes a chicken wing out of her belly, and then like you'll see all of these words that don't appear in the film but are just Coralie's notes to herself, like like just all these like excited sounds that I guess she's just making in her head. Like, it's fun. She's very passionate about it, clearly. So I like to see that joy of filmmaking. And you can tell from the work too. Like, you can just watch the movie. You don't even have to see the behind the scenes shit to know that it was made with so much love and excitement and passion. That's what I love the most about The Substance.
Yeah, you can't just tell.
French people are awesome.
It's the love of filmmaking personified within a film. All right, we got through all the Oscar noms.
Woo!
Yeah, Substance sweep or Emilia Perez. Your choice. Everybody.
Damn.
We can only have the two.
People are going to be annoyed either way.
Part of me wants it to be Amelia Perez sweeping everything just because it'd be really funny.
It would be funny.
It would.
But now I want Conclave to win everything because that would piss you off.
I mean,
that'd be funny too.
Yeah,
so.
it is. People do like seeing me pissed off. People do find that funny. So that's unfortunately where my where my success lies on my internet presence. The more angry I get,
I think there's a good chance both of those will win one, though. I reckon.
I think Conclave's gonna win fucking score for no reason. I think I'm literally that cynical in that category.
Yeah, I think actually might. Yeah, I could see that happening.
Because it's the most noticeable, because it's the most distracting, and the Academy goes, I noticed the score.
I really noticed that. Yeah.
So I think it's winning.
Alex, what would you pick for Best Picture, Alex?
Best Picture. I'm still waiting on Brutalist because I just got a good feeling about that, but obviously I haven't seen it yet.
Substance.
I might feel Anora over Substance personally.
You're kind of Anora me right now.
Yeah, I think that's where I'd be leaning actually, because like, what's Anora's got to win something.
Yeah, I love Anora.
Anora's going to win 0 Oscars.
It got shut out of the Golden Globes. So.
Yeah,
true. Any major snubs?
Challengers
is the big one.
Daniel Craig pisses me off.
Civil War.
No TV Glow. I thought there might be something.
Yeah, that could have gotten
TV
like
Glow.
a cinematography or screenplay nod, maybe, but outside of that, I'm not sure. And then, no Look Back, no Rukubaku,
Mm-hmm.
and no Mars Express. Whether it was for this year or last year, it didn't show up in either year because the Academy only likes French animated films when there's no dialogue and they don't have to read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah, I didn't even like bother even noting that down or thinking about that because I just knew it stood no chance.
All right. So, we saw Kraven the Hunter, and I think that this is the perfect film to try doing a speed run conversation on. Because it's fucking Kraven the Hunter anyway, okay? This is the last of the Sonyverse. It's all that it deserves. What did you fucking think about it?
The sixth and final film in the SSU, the shitty Spider-Man universe. Oh
Nice.
my god. I love this.
Oh, you loved it?
This was incredible.
It was fun.
Yeah, I was pretty gleeful in some of these scenes. Just like what we're doing with the Oscars is just then trying to reverse engineer like people with money and influence like sat together and like made decisions, and like what did those decisions look like for this this like piece of shit, like $110 million.
All the most talented and creative minds came together with unlimited resources to create this.
Yeah, for the ultimate scam part 6, the 6th part of the scam universe.
I mean, they're laundering money, right? They have to be laundering money.
I mean, you could still launder money and make it more like fun and self-aware. Like, I don't know what's going on.
No, this is what $100 million looks like. This is what it looks like, guys.
It is sadly what it looks like. What I find very confusing about these types of disasters, so many of them wind up getting put in some kind of like production hell and get delayed and reshoots. Like, I don't even have to look it up. I'm pretty sure I remember. Like, this was supposed to come out before Madam Web, right? And then, reshoots. Yeah. What I'm wondering about this is like, okay, when you have something that you know is not going to work anyway, which is why you're doing the reshoots, because nobody liked it in the test screenings or whatever. Why are you spending more money on it? like, we're going to make it perfect. Are you seriously, you think you can fix this? You think the reshoots are going to make it better, not worse? Just fucking release it. Just go into it with some self-awareness. Just some self-awareness. Just be like, yes, we saw that you were making fun of Morbius. We saw that you wanted to meme and say it's Morbin time. Like, just make something that doesn't take itself so seriously. All the music is so fucking serious. Like, aren't you invested in this epic drama? Like, if it was just playing silly music, exact same movie. If it was just playing fun music, you know? Like, something along the lines of, like, an Edgar Wright film, like Hot Fuzz or, you know, Baby Driver. Just play some fun music, and the scenes would be goofy, and a lot of them would be fixed. A lot of the action scenes. Instead, it's like... Fuck, it's so annoying.
What is the angle? What is the angle? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Why is Kraven the Hunter, who's written like Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
His weird like dialogue where he's trying to be like this action hero star. He's like, hunting people down is sort of my thing. Why is he saying shit like that?
That was a great impression.
Nice perfume, by the way.
Yeah.
Gosh, you're really heavy.
What the fuck are we doing here with this character? Like, it's the same in every single one of these 6 Sony Spider-Man villain universe. Like, every single review is the same fucking things. It's like, what are you supposed to do with this character? You remove everything that gives it an identity or a purpose within some kind of story as the villain to Spider-Man, and bringing something out of that character. But then you put them by themselves, and you don't allow them to be a villain and have to make them into a hero.
Yeah,
and
there's no point.
So then you wind up taking a character who is known for how ruthless and how he's a big game hunter, opening the movie with him going after poachers who he deems to be evil and go against.
Oh, he's a good guy. I guess.
He's like, they try to very roughly try and do like a Dexter type thing where he's like, oh, he's a serial killer, but he only kills baddies, serial killers, huh? So that makes him good, nudge, nudge, but it's more like, wait, but that doesn't even make, he's still like a ruthless big game killer here. So I don't know what, like...
He shares the same name, and Sony thought that anybody knew who Morbius, Madam Web, or Kraven was. Like, people know who Venom is, right? That's a good green light. It made money, right? If the goal is money, a Venom movie makes sense. None of these other ones make any fucking sense.
I still think out of these 4 characters, is it 4? Yeah, Kraven, Venom, Morbius, and Madam Web. Yeah. You can do something with Venom, and you could do something with Kraven. You could, I reckon, but it has to be in a Spider-Man story. It has to. Otherwise, like, what? Why are you doing this in this kind of like film form? It's just not going to work. Yeah, where do we even take this? They must have known, because it's so like on its face, bare face, lazy, that it's funny to me. I'm sat there like laughing at that they have the gall to like charge and even put together a 2+ hour movie where like no one cares. It's utterly passionless.
Yeah.
Go for it, Jake.
I really liked it. No, I'm just kidding. I really like how... Okay, I'm going to try to be kind of positive here. Let's see if I try. I really like how the ADR is really pushed to its limits, you know, like they got to get really creative, you know, anytime the shot is on someone else's face who isn't talking, all of the best exposition comes out, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it'll just be like people having conversation like, oh, did you know that this happened? Blah, blah, blah. And then it'll cut to someone who isn't talking. And by the way, we need to get this potion to this place. And if you drink this, you become a monster. And also, you'll have like James McAvoy superpowers in Split. I think that's what his powers were. He can just like crawl around and be super fast and strong. And that's cool. I like that. That's wonderful. I like the themes of toxic masculinity in this film. I thought they were done very subtly and tastefully.
Mm-hmm.
I like how Russell Crowe is just like, you've got to be a man. You're a little child.
You have to be a man.
Yeah, and then the guys are like, yeah, no, but let's kill some people too, and also, like, what is the mission? What are the goals? I think it's experimental and neat that they just wanted to get rid of the idea of character development.
Mm-hmm.
And a sincere compliment. I do like Fred Hetchinger, who plays his brother. I think he's a cool actor. He was in The White Lotus. I like his performances, and he brought a kind of funny self-aware energy to this movie, I thought.
Interesting.
And a weirdly good casting for that character. Like, I guess, spoilers?
Was it the guy that looked like a child? Like the guy with the turtleneck where it made his head look way too big for his body?
The guy who could sing perfectly as anyone.
Yeah, the guy who was ADR'd also more.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I remember. Yeah, what was did Christopher Abbott's character have powers? Because, like, what was he doing?
Needs to explain what was going on. He was a character called The Foreigner, and he'd count down from 3, and something would happen. He's, like, moving fast, or time is stopping, or being played with, but it never actually, like, explains, like, what is happening. He, like, turns someone's gun around, but then they never fire the gun, and it's like, what is happening?
According to the character's wiki, like, from the comic, it says, the Foreigner has no superhuman abilities. However, he has trained his body to be in peak physical condition. So either they took some liberties or like, what's happening here? I'm going to have to go to this other article. I don't know what was happening.
But like in the film, what were we supposed to infer by what we were shown or told?
I don't know if he was stopping time or hypnotizing them.
It's got to be a rights issue, right?
Yeah, it must be.
Screen Rant article says the Foreigner possesses incredible psionic powers that allow him to freeze how the people he fights against experience time. So he's not freezing time, he's hypnotizing them. This disorienting power leaves his opponents defenseless for several seconds as they reel from the experience, attempting to put together where and when they are. This power, which is rooted in kind of hypnotism, is seen in the Marvel Comics. Despite having no superhuman strength or senses, the Foreigner is able to seem like he is moving at superhuman speed by messing with the perception of those he fights against. So he's able to do this really quickly. He doesn't need to like lull anyone into anything. They don't even need to be close enough to him for them to hear what he's saying. He just kind of says the word 3 and then they're just hypnotized, which is pretty fun.
Maybe, it would have been nice if the film like communicated that in some way.
Yeah, it was kind of confusing.
Of, like, leaving you guessing.
Well, I was so confused. I was so confused at the end when he has like Kraven and he's like has him on the ground and he's pointing a gun at him and he starts counting down like 3, 2, 1. And I forgot that was his like power thing where he'd count down. And so I'm just sitting there like you're just why are you counting down? And then he gets shot right at once. It was so stupid. It like all of these Sony movies, they have. Oh
yeah, and she heard him saying it too when she shot him.
yeah, but these like side characters that are like superheroes, like Ariana DeBose, she was also apparently like a superhero character in the comics, and Venom did this too, where they're just throwing in like C-list, D-list characters, and it's got to be to maintain the rights, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Definitely.
That's what it feels like.
There's a cynical reason for everything. That's all we know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what it seemed like to me. Because otherwise, like, why does she need to be like a named comic character? It added nothing, and it was just convoluted.
Just for the fans, they go, dude, it's the Foreigner, and
it's Pride Rock.
Yeah. It's funny because we really did get no character development, but despite that there was a 30-minute flashback sequence where we learned about him getting his powers.
It's like the whole first act.
That was very long. That was painful. I was like, I can't believe we're still in this.
It's so clunky.
This movie just took fucking forever to get to where it was going. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. I was enjoying the silly action, not unironically or anything. But at least it was stimulating in some way where I was like, okay, if the whole movie was this, then this would be a good bad movie for me.
When he's like water skiing through London off a helicopter, I was like laughing good at that, like in the disgusting Thames, like skiing on everyone's shit. Yeah, the action was terrible. Anytime there's like a big CG animal, there's a scene where he's got to like fight like a snow leopard. It's awesome.
Yeah, very odd.
Yeah, those scenes like carry me through it.
It was frustrating. It was a very painful film to sit through.
The villain
it just makes me feel sad.
It makes me feel happy, man. Like
it's the difference between you and me.
The Kraven, like Kraven is the main character, and they're like, oh, so I guess we need a villain for Kraven to go up against. Let's just pull another random Spider-Man villain, I guess. Let's just get the Rhino in there.
Oh, so, yeah. The Rhino was in it. I quoted him from the beginning. I already forgot.
It's like the Bane version of Rhino.
Yeah.
He's kind of more like a Bane thing going on, where he's got like a chemical that's stopping him from being in his Rhino state. Or like a tube going into it.
Bring back Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
We never even got a fight scene with him, remember? We never even got to see him fight.
You at least get a fight scene.
Just bring back Paul.
You get a better Rhino fight scene in Kraven the Hunter than in the Spider-Man movie he was last in. So, I
was just going to say that the Rhino's character, he just like went to someone in New York to give him superpowers, and he has it now because Russell Crowe was kind of mean to him once. And that's his character. He's just like, I'm a tough guy now. See, again, the theme of toxic masculinity explored so beautifully in this film. It's very touching. Yeah,
I think it's funny that spoilers. He winds up just like sticking something into his side. He's like, "Oh, this is your kind of like belly button." Not really. This is your tube area. So it's probably your weak point because that's where you're not getting armor. But all I was thinking is like, he's got eyeballs. That would probably be even better. Like you could. His eyes aren't covering up with armor every time he shifts, right? Just stick it through his head. You want to kill him? Whatever. I guess he didn't want to kill him.
I love the look of that, though. Outside of that,
he's such a good guy. He didn't want to kill him.
You're saying you know how to kill rhinos very well, and you like to do it. Got it.
Yeah. There's a specific way to do it that we should all be aware of.
I'm glad that's your passion. Killing rhinos is your passion.
I just make sure I'm prepared. Like if I ever find myself in that particular situation, I know what to do. Right. So don't be unprepared. Don't catch you slipping up.
If I'm ever face to face with a nearly extinct rhino, I know how to fucking kill it.
Or a guy that has weird powers that he says he's a rhino.
Go for the eyes.
Yeah. Yes. There's an article, an interview with Sony Pictures CEO Tony Vinciquerra. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
So got to say for himself.
Recently told the Los Angeles Times that Kraven the Hunter is probably the worst launch we had. In the nearly 8 years he's been at the studio, adding, I still don't understand because the film is not a bad film. They're saying it's not bad. There's more to this. It's very funny. Let's just touch on Madam Web for a moment, Vinciquerra said. Madam Web underperformed in the theaters because the press just crucified it. It was not a bad film, and it did great on Netflix. For some reason, the press decided that they didn't want us making these films out of Kraven and Madam Web, and the critics just destroyed them. They also did it with Venom, but the audience loved Venom and made Venom a massive hit. These are not terrible films. They were just destroyed by the critics in the press for some reason. That's like the most insane out of touch thing that you could possibly fucking say. Because in the cognitive dissonance here already, you're already saying they hated Venom too, but the audience loved it and it did well. So it's like, okay, well then you're admitting that people aren't just fucking going to Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes, like the average film goer. Like, sure, they might be aware of those things, but they're going to watch a movie that seems interesting to them, right? Kraven and Madam Web would have been hits too if the audiences liked it. So don't blame the fucking critics. For some reason, the critics didn't want people watching it. Fuck you. Go outside. Become a real person. Stop being a billionaire. Or however much money you have.
So out of touch. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, Adam. I feel like it's your fault that Kraven underperformed.
Yeah.
No, but that's how they're talking to each other. That's what God, I wish I could be a fly on the wall and just listen to the way they speak to each other about
I want to be friends
why
with them.
these projects don't. Yeah, just to listen to them. Just cross your arms and listen and hear the crazy shit they have to say. Because what do you mean? For some reason, for some unexplained reason, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's crazy.
He says the studio needs to rethink how it moves forward with its Spider-Man universe tentpoles. He says, it's snake bitten. If we put another one out, it's going to get destroyed no matter how good or bad it is, he told the LA Times. No, you could make a good one and people would like it. The critics would enjoy it if you made something that wasn't like literally just a fucking scam. Like, look at the film you made. Look at the film that you funded. Kraven the Hunter, tell me a single fucking part of it where you're offering anything to the language of filmmaking or even entertainment. What do you think you're offering? Legit. What are you adding? What are you adding to the language of cinema or entertainment? Even slop. What are you doing? What are you offering? You have to offer something. What do we get? Nothing.
Just memes. That's literally all they're offering with these.
Not even with this movie. Just the fucking weird sound that Rhino makes. That's it. That's the only meme.
There are a couple of good ones. No, but you cannot underestimate that one. You cannot understate the power of that moment. I rewound that scene literally about 20 times. I thought like something was wrong with the version I was watching, or like I thought I'd like finally snapped, but I genuinely replayed that so many times because I was like, what was the direction here? What were they trying to communicate with this sound that the villain is making?
I don't think you guys get like where I was mentally when I saw this. This was the first movie that I reviewed after our baby was born. So I was like going off. I probably hadn't slept for 48 hours, and I'm sitting in the theater and like hallucinating this movie. And then that happens, and I legitimately thought I had made that up after I saw it. I had to ask people. I was like, was that in that? Really? But that is the best part, and that's what's sad, and that, like,
it's a breath of fresh air. It's a moment of levity.
But it sideswipes you in such a way where it's like, what? Did that actually happen? This film's like gaslighting me as it's going. It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
This should be best editing because I think this had the most editing, I mean, imagine how much work this poor team of editors trying to scrap something together out of this. I mean, I think most bad movies probably should win best editing because who knows what they had to fucking work with here.
That was literally the fucking campaign for Bohemian Rhapsody. Was like the director quit halfway through because people found out he was a pedophile.
Oh, they just realized it all of a sudden. No.
They had to scrap it together with reshoots from like 3 different directors. They're like, damn, this editor saved the movie even though it still is bad. Like, might as well give it to fucking Kraven at that point. They've got a tough job trying to stitch together these things that like nobody even knows what's in the movie. Nobody has a fucking vision. It's like 10 different visions and nobody else knows what the fuck is going on. Ugh. Sony Pictures CEO. What a guy.
But he's got a big boat though.
Call us.
Imagine saying it's not a bad film. And I don't understand. Imagine saying those words. I liked it. I liked Kraven, actually.
We at Sony, we loved it, actually. We're proud of it.
Yeah, re-release it again.
You guys are just haters.
We were all busy that weekend. Can you re-release it in theaters? Like, do a Morbius.
There's no such thing as a good or a bad movie. There's only profitable movies or unprofitable ones.
Yeah, to them, they think that's the same thing. Because he's like, it did great on Netflix.
Yeah, Madam Web did awesome on Netflix.
Like, yeah, people watched it when they didn't have to pay extra money for it on a subscription that they already had. People watched it on their fucking couch when they didn't have to leave the house. And they could just brain rot and see how bad it was. Yeah, people watched it in that scenario.
Isn't that crazy, though? That like a movie as bad as Madam Web will still do crazy numbers on Netflix simply because it was released theatrically. Yeah. And there's like a kind of like an expectation of quality, even though there isn't a higher quality there, but it's like, oh, at least it was in theaters. Someone tried to show this to people. And it's just weird how I feel like any movies we're going to be remembering from here on out, like they're all going to have theatrical distributions, because I don't think just streaming movies, like no one cares about them.
Yeah. I don't even think it's like an expectation of quality. It's like an expectation of a cultural conversation. You know, like when nobody liked fucking Rise of the Skywalker. Nobody liked Jurassic World Dominion. People were all saying don't see it, but everybody saw it. Both of those movies made like over $1 billion or whatever. Like people wanted to just be a part of a conversation because they knew other people were talking about a thing. Like, it doesn't even have to do with the quality anymore. People just want to feel like they fit in, I guess.
People, they watch things differently on streaming too. There's something like passive about it.
On your phone.
You look at like the top tens of like what's being streamed, and it's like just those random shit or like stuff from decades ago. It is, it feels like less of like a purpose, or I've made an effort to go out and see this movie at this time. Shit like Red Notice or whatever is what gets the eyes, the streams.
All right, we gotta move along, but there's one more thing I want to talk about in this conversation about Kraven. I think it's fucking funny and sad that they were marketing this as an R-rated film. Like, who knows how far into the production they decided that would be the case? Because a lot of it is literally just like, oh, you have CG blood here.
There is.
You know, or it's just like a single shot where it's like, okay, otherwise this would have been a PG-13 movie. They said fuck twice. Very brave. But it's so frustrating seeing this happen time and time again, especially with Sony, where it's almost as if they're testing the waters for this sort of thing. They're like, let's see if we could do an R-rated superhero movie, which they should have done with Venom from the get-go, but they were too fucking pussy. Yeah. They had no faith in the ability to do that because they just don't understand, art. But they're like, let's test the waters with Kraven. But they only ever test the waters with projects that they have no faith in the first place. Right? Yeah. So this thing that's destined to fail, they'll use as evidence as to why they can't possibly do an R-rated superhero film or anything like that. Like, oh, this one didn't work. We tried it with this project that was going to fail anyway, and it didn't work. Go fuck yourselves. I hate that mentality. Mm-hmm. These people are insane.
Yeah. It's like, oh, let's let a woman direct a Marvel movie. Oh, it sucked? Wow. I guess we can't let women do that anymore.
Sorry. You see the numbers here.
One shot.
Anything else about Kraven? You guys have any strong opinions on anything else? It was very boring.
It was. It was just sad. I'm sad.
Yeah, it is sad. I'm sad it's over. This franchise, this side series. It was. I was thinking it's like an inverse, like Cohen situation for me. We were saying with like No Country, where every single character that comes in, side character or not, one scene or two scenes, a handful of scenes that make this impression. This film does something similar, but in like the inverse way, where every new character, every side character, every bit part somehow is worse than the previous one.
It makes you forget more.
It's crazy. Yeah, like these little side characters will just say one line. And it's like, how do you even say a line that short so badly? How do you even do that? Yeah, it's just crazy, this film.
Yeah.
And the only positive I can really get from it is that hopefully this film bombing quite as badly as it has, hopefully that cancels out what Venom 3 did make. So,
yeah.
So yeah, there's always a silver lining. This is a half a star with a like. I love the glowing up animal eyes, all these animal CG shits. It's so dumb. But yeah, don't pay money to see it.
Well, I mean, Alex, now that we're done with the Sony Spider-Verse, are you going to do a retrospective review?
Yeah, I think it's time.
I feel like that would be incredible.
Yeah, I think it's time.
Nice. Good idea. What do you give it out of 10? Or 5 or whatever the fuck you do? Jake?
I like 2 out of 10. Yeah.
2 out of 10? Nice. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. So, whatever.
Okay.
It's funny how little charisma Kraven had. He tried. There were moments where he tried to be intimidating. There were moments where he tried to be, kind of watchable, and it did not work ever. He didn't know what the fuck to do. No sense of direction. There's not much script to work with. When he was talking with the female lead, it was like, wow, you guys have never talked to human beings before ever.
Never met. Yeah.
Wow.
This is the first time you've met each other. Yeah. Yeah, the whole cast is like that though.
Yeah. Fascinating. Thanks, Sony. We appreciate your brave sacrifices and contributions to the language of cinema.
R.I.P.
All right. Introduce the thing.
Yeah. So I just had to splash some cold water on my face from that. Got the giggles bad from that rhino shit. Something about that just like really broke me. That that rhino sound.
Wow. It's a classic.
I'm gonna like clip that and put it on my like phone and watch that daily. I love that shit. But anyway, my recommendation for this episode was the 2002 Curtis Hanson directed 8 Mile Eminem movie. There's not supposed to be an Eminem movie.
that should be the title instead of 8 Mile. Is just Eminem movie.
Eminem the movie. Yeah, because part of why I wanted to talk about this and choose this, as I was saying earlier with the whole biopic phenomena, somehow Eminem just passed me by, even though I'm like the perfect age for it. I remember the music videos on MTV and everything, but I just wasn't paying attention, I guess. Well, like Gorillaz and Daft Punk and all of that were like really speaking to me. I don't know, I somehow missed Eminem. I'm that one guy that missed Eminem. So I figured, you know what? This movie, I've seen it there. It's got good reviews. I've seen a couple other Curtis Hanson movies, which I remember enjoying. It's been a very long time since I've seen LA Confidential. That's the one I remember best, and thought, hey, maybe I can learn something about Eminem today. How about that? Let's check out this biopic. And then, yeah, of course, I figure out Eminem's approach to this biopic was that he specifically didn't want it to be autobiographical per se. Well, that's what he says.
Just like
anyway.
kind of.
Yeah. And I guess I kind of need your guys to help explain this to me, because I don't.
Yeah.
He said he didn't want this to be a vanity project about his life. But that's how is it not that?
Well, I have a theory that he probably maybe would have. Yeah, I think people were itching for that sort of thing, but he couldn't do it because by this point his mom had already sued him. And he settled for $10 million because he, right. A lot of his raps would be about how like she was abusive and like a drug user, and and so I don't know. I feel like that kind of at that point, which this I think chronologically was after his third big album, The Eminem Show. By this point, he had already written in the song, I just settled on my lawsuit, fuck you, Debbie, which was a reference to the $10 million settlement. So I think that probably prevented that from... that probably is the reason why we'll never get like a full, real biopic for Eminem. And also the mom character in this was not nearly as bad as like what you'd imagine based on his lyrics.
Yeah, well, I just kind of wasn't expecting the ultra focus on a smaller portion of his life and more of like a character study type angle instead of a classic like rags to riches. Here's the narration at the beginning. This was when I was poor and didn't have anything, blah, blah, blah. Before it all kicked, and then going through the career and the highs and lows, or problems with fame that come with it. And I know there's like drugs in there somewhere too, but it's really not going for that kind of angle. It's also not a heavy musical either. It's almost more like a sport movie kind of structure, with like a or a battle of the bands type thing, where it's like two rivals and it's all building up to this one event towards the end, and it's not like a traditional musical where you're really seeing like I Want songs or this kind of thing from the perspective of a main character trying to like explain their world. It's more like quite realistic as far as how the musical elements are depicted in the movie, which I kind of like, but I'm also kind of torn because I'm left watching this with the conclusion of, well, I don't really know much more about him. I can kind of infer some stuff with what I assume isn't too exaggerated for the sake of a movie. But then I'm just wondering, so is this more just for fans of Eminem already? Like that's who it's for more so? And yeah,
You don't really learn much about Eminem's life through this film. It's an Eminem movie for Eminem fans, basically.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the inverse of what I was saying earlier about like the Robbie Williams Better Man, where it's like someone I don't really care about or don't really know anything about, but I wind up learning a lot about a person and how they carry themselves and how they feel about something or their journey through something. Whereas this is, I don't know, it's quite a formulaic rags to riches type story.
Okay. So first question, if you missed out on Eminem, does that mean you forgot about Dre?
No, I know about Dre.
Nobody understands my jokes. That's fine.
I always miss your music, Jude.
I know. It's okay. Somebody in the comments always points it out. Do you ever catch those? Do you ever look in the comments and see when people say...
Oh, I see them every time, yeah, because I'm there in the moment. I'm like, I didn't catch that one.
That's fine. Whatever. If you want to know anything about Eminem, you can just ask me. I did like book reports on this guy when I was growing up. I was a huge fan.
I would love to know about Eminem right now because I know little to nothing about Eminem.
Mm-hmm. So, he basically... His story is one where he experienced a lot of poverty, grew up in bad neighborhoods, experienced a lot of, tension and bullying at school. He got beat up to the point where he was in a coma. He wrote a song called Brain Damage about it. And part of what I really loved about his music is even though that his music does have autobiographical qualities, they're also still fun and exaggerative. So if you listen to the song Brain Damage, which is actually one of my favorite tracks, probably, he gets really creative with it. It's not just I'm telling a literal story about something that happened, but he uses the story as inspiration, kind of in a similar way to if you see a stand-up comedian relaying some sort of anecdote, you know that it's not a literal, oh, this happened, but it might be inspired by something that actually happened in their life.
Mm.
And so throughout his music, something that he managed to do, which was really interesting, is he took these characters in his life, so his wife, his daughter, his mother, and the way that he talked about each of them consistently throughout his records, especially his first few big ones, they almost became kind of like these weird characters in a narrative, as if you're watching a television show or a reality show where you hear more about these people and you hear more about the relationship he has with them. And because his music is so visionary in terms of how he writes his lyrics, he's not just it's a very different approach than the rhyme scheme or narrative flow of someone like MF Doom, right? Where sometimes it's a little, you have to listen quite a few times to understand what the themes are, what someone's really getting at. Whereas with Eminem, it's pretty clear, in terms of a narrative story, like the song Stan. He's basically creating a stage play out of his music. He's telling a cohesive story while still retaining very complex rhyme schemes that have, several syllables in each verse, rhyming into the next one times 10, still managing to tell a very cohesive, listenable story in a very emotional way. And what I love about his music is he's able to hit these weird, sad, serious tones. He's able to very much hit the angry tones, but he's also able to hit very funny comedic tones. A lot of his hits, Without Me and The Real Slim Shady, there's so much comedy to it and this sense of countercultural backlash. He got popular at the right time in terms of it being a response to ideas of censorship. They had just started putting parental advisory, explicit content labels on records. And so there was obviously this weird backlash against the idea of self-censorship, and people just wanted to be, fuck the government, I won't do what you're telling me sort of thing, anti-establishment. And so all of these elements together, and of course, along with his producer, Dr. Dre, creating some of the best, absolute best 90s, 2000s hip-hop beats, so fucking catchy, so fucking listenable, super talented guy. all of that together just wound up creating this phenomenon where everybody had to know who this guy was, especially also because he was the first really big, really talented white rapper that was actually doing something meaningfully artistic. You could make the argument, maybe, sure, Beastie Boys, they have their own strengths or, but it's not quite the same. Like he almost reimagined the genre in a way, or at least just popularized it based on his own personal strengths. And so a lot of who he is and a lot of his character persona of his music is found in 8 Mile, like in terms of his character by the end of the film, spoilers everybody for 8 Mile, his character winds up essentially embodying the idea of, hey, I'm flawed. It's pretty clear and evident to everybody around me that I'm flawed, but I'm going to, before anybody uses that as ammunition against me, I'm going to promote the idea that I'm aware of my flaws and I'm going to hold them out on display. And not only am I going to create a sense of almost vulnerability from that, I'm actually going to be stronger because of it. And I'm going to show you that I actually don't care about all of these shortcomings in my life and that I'm using them as a weapon against you, right? And so that is very much an idea embodied in the character in this film that is also embodied in, the real life character Marshall Mathers, Eminem, found in his music. And part of the reason that I very much connected with it when I was younger, and yeah, still do.
Yeah, I can see that, but also the best part of what you just described, how he's like barefaced and is who he is, and the kind of rap battles you get towards the end are like what I was expecting more, what I want to see from the character, but it is kind of restricted to the final 20-25 minutes.
Yeah.
And the rest of the movie was more like a serious drama, and I'm like, well, I kind of want to see and learn about the creative side of this. You get the odd like scribbling on the bus, like lyrics scenes, but it's never really indulged in beyond the odd thing here or there. It's more about his relationship with his mum or his friends or his rivalries, as opposed to going into the creative process. So I kind of had this feeling more towards the end of like, oh, where was this? Like, this is kind of why I'm here. And you do get it right there towards the end, but it's also a 2-hour-long like film. And yeah, just that kind of structure of these kind of biopics where it is very sort of paint by numbers, and like, yeah, you have the girl that kind of falls for him on the spot, and they don't really have that much between them. It doesn't feel like a very deep relationship, whatever. And yeah, there's that stuff going on with his mom, but it never really feels like particularly fleshed out to me. Yeah, it did feel like it needed that extra bump of having to be a fan of him already.
Very much
One thing I did like, though, outside of a lot of other biopics I have seen, him being in there and his performance actually being solid and fine and not distracting, that did make it stand out to me as far as like, oh, I'm glad they're actually in there. It's not someone doesn't feel like doing a bad impression or feeling like they're just dressing up as somebody that does help it carry it along. But kind of glad that Jake, you're also not the biggest Eminem dude, so I'm curious how this kind of hit you as well, because I was left kind of wanting more as far as learning about him as an individual, but I also got kind of sprinklings of what I want to see. But how did it hit you?
Yeah, no, that's something I thought about too. I was like, oh, great, I'm going to learn a little bit about Eminem. I feel like I learned nothing, and I'm actually kind of happy about that, because like it could have been more of the cliche biopic, like, all right, here's how he did this, and et cetera, et cetera. And I liked how it was very focused on just this one period in his life, and it doesn't have a really like strong narrative momentum. It's just kind of like, no. All right, things get worse and worse, and then they get better. And and it is like a sports movie, very much like Rocky structurally, and that really worked. And I think that Eminem was just like, he has like an authentic presence on screen that was really engaging, fun to watch. I just loved seeing all of these actors from the early Brittany Murphy. I love seeing Kim Basinger and Michael Shannon as
that was a fun one.
Shitty boyfriend. I was like, oh my God, it's Michael Shannon. I did think it was very funny that he was like the same age as Eminem. Or as his character, as B Rabbit. Like, damn, okay, that does suck. Like, oh yeah, your life is pretty bad. And for a movie like of this era, it is kind of like the Hollywood version, but as authentic as you'd expected, I guess. I mean, there's a lot to look into, like the class dynamics, the race dynamics in this movie, what it's trying to say. But ultimately, like my wife, Nadia, she loves this movie. Mm-hmm. And when I said like, oh yeah, we're going to be talking about 8 Mile, she was like, oh my God, that was my favorite movie in high school. You know, she like, I'd watch it all the time. And I never had that experience with this, but, I was like, okay, cool. And I get why like a high schooler or like a younger person would be so into this, because it's about like investing in yourself and finding confidence in yourself. And there's like the positive aspect to that, especially when you're younger, of like, yeah, I just want to do it. I just want to win. And I need to grind. And that's kind of the climax of the movie is after he wins the rap battle, he's like, no, I got to go to work. I got to go grind and hustle and do it on my own. And you guys are kind of holding me back, basically. And it is kind of like an antisocial perspective. And I was thinking of this in comparison to Whiplash almost. Like, what does it take to be successful? And Whiplash, I think, is very ambivalent about like throwing everything into your art. And whereas this is like, yeah, that's what you got to do. And it's a really good thing to be done with these losers who are holding you back. Yeah. And but I totally get it. Like, it is an invigorating movie. It is not what I expected in a really good way.
It's very inspirational capitalist propaganda.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
No, yeah, I connected with a lot of that when I was younger, for sure. You make some good points about that in terms of like what it's going for thematically, like inspirationally. The grind, it does connect to a lot of, you know, people like myself that turned into fucking workaholics, and now I'm trying to find a way out of it.
Yeah, I feel like that approach that makes it stand out, having it be more of a like focused slice of his life, does also kind of wind up hurting it with like what you'd need to add for that approach to kind of pay off more. Like, for example, the stakes for the character, they're quite clear as far as like, yeah, he's impoverished and he's motivated to do this to get out of the situation he is in, but it will undercut itself at certain points. Like, tell me if I'm just like missing or misinterpreting something to do with the mother character who's continuously going on about this bingo thing she's into, and she kind of wins $3,000 at a certain point for some reason. Yeah, and it kind of alleviates some of that, I guess, tension of like that was part of it. They early on in the movie, he moves back in with his mum, and there is a like more of a ticking element of like, I need to move, I need to get out of here. There's a sense of urgency to the situation I'm in. But it would do little things like that, like, look, I just won thousands of dollars at bingo, and it's like, what? How's that really assisting the like narrative, the way it's moving? It does kind of feel like it's plodding, or like his. I don't feel like I'm there with the character as far as like, well, I don't feel like this investment in these rap battles you're happening. It doesn't feel like the world is on your shoulders. It feels almost like too nonchalant. And like, I want to see some of that humor of the character. I want to see more of a range from this character and like his struggles to get to, so when he gets that win at the end, it feels like a more of an impact.
That's interesting, because I definitely do feel like my favorite scenes are the rap battles. And I guess like when you look at the psychology of this character and how he's like investing every single ounce of his, you know, free time and creativity, like this is obviously his passion. And then obviously with the added idea of everybody going into this movie knowing it's Eminem and knowing that he did, you know, grind until he made it sort of thing, you know, the success story out of poverty. I think that does add to those scenes kind of inherently through that, but you're right that maybe like the film itself isn't like communicating that as well as it could. But yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking like if you want to make a biopic or be involved in cinema, and like just looking at his quotes saying that he didn't want it to be like autobiographical in any way, then I don't know, we've seen what that can look like in something like Dancer in the Dark, where like Bjork isn't playing herself, she's playing a character, she's doing something, and it's still got musical elements, she still wrote the music for it and still told a story. That's really what I'm more looking for, I think, out of that like creative juice, that creative energy, whereas this just feels more like, yeah, it's kind of a unique angle that you're taking, but the way this is carried out and followed through, there's nothing really about the presentation or the artistry of how it was put together that I really am left thinking about. It's more just like scenes of Eminem being Eminem that I could kind of like watch on YouTube, I guess, and get a more authentic, genuine experience from.
With how the story was kind of approached and structured, I'm thinking if you changed the director, you could make something really interesting out of it. So here's two suggestions. Either Aronofsky or Harmony Korine. Like you could get some really interesting things out of those two directors tackling this same subject, the same concept, I think.
Well, it's funny you said that, actually, because I'm pretty sure Danny Boyle was attached.
Oh, really?
And it was him and Curtis Hanson,
weird.
head to head, and it wound up Eminem, I think, had a better chemistry or whatever with Curtis Hanson and went with him over him. But I'm just picturing now like a Boyle movie with that kind of energy maybe attached to this could work a lot better. Maybe that's where my issues are with it, is that kind of flat direction to this.
Yeah, it's not super ambitious in terms of like the filmmaking at all. And even in the writing, you know, like it does kind of meander, and a lot of the characters kind of feel cartoony, not just in terms of how they're written, but also performed. You know, fucking what's his name? MC Bob, the comedic relief character that shoots himself in the leg. Like
shoots himself.
It makes enough sense because those are, you know, the film is filled with enough memorable moments frequently enough to make it watchable, especially for a 13-year-old in 2002, right? Like I can see why it worked for me, even though I don't love the movie and I never like, you know, consider it to be like one of my favorites, but it was definitely like, oh, I remember things about this movie. I remember them shooting paintballs. I remember him shooting himself in the leg, right? And then, you know, it being attached to this, you know, one of the biggest songs of all time. It was a hit when it came out. It won Eminem an Oscar. Lose Yourself, right? Like that being the theme, you know, of the movie, and the being able to hear the song on the radio and kind of envisioning the visuals of the movie, right? Like Eminem's a very great visual storyteller in his lyrics. Palms are sweaty, knees weak. Arms spaghetti. There's spaghetti on my spaghetti already. Mom's spaghetti. He's spaghetti. Like those are some very visual lyrics where you just think about spaghetti.
I was really sad. I was sad that song was just the credits, and then the stupid Amazon app thing like changed the movie. I'm like, oh, finally, I'm listening to this. Oh, great! Now we're like watching some Bridgerton or some shit, you know? Yeah, but. That song, it's a good song, and I think that I just wish it was incorporated into the movie somehow. But, you know, we're talking about like different directors. I do think like this movie, if it were made today, would be very different, and there'd be different choices about like the perspective, mainly because it is about like a white rapper in a typically black dominated genre. And I think like there would be more mindfulness about who is writing the story, who's telling the story. I mean, Curtis Hanson is kind of like, from what I can tell, he's kind of like a workman-like director, kind of taking on various projects in a traditional mold. And yeah, someone different with more of a style, that'd be super interesting to see. But also, I was surprised that, I mean, the movie's like self-aware about this. Like, one of the characters even says, like, oh, you know how white people can go into a traditionally black field and they'll, you know, be more likely to find success. And it was interesting too how the movie ends kind of with Eminem being like, my life is harder than yours and I'm white, so what do you know, like how tough are you? Like, it was just really interesting from a lens of being in, you know, 2025, and how the I guess the politics, the social perspective has changed a lot, that I wonder how this story would be told now.
Yeah, there would I think inherently have to be some sort of like more acknowledgement of that, if not necessarily explicitly like literally told as dialogue, but, you know, some more mindfulness in terms of how the story is written or structured, or what they're showing, I guess. I'm not sure. It's an interesting and unique situation, and Eminem is like such a, you know, interesting and unique character in real life, like for him to break out into that scene and, you know, from more or less being accepted by the non-white rap community, mostly, you know, in great deal, because not only is he talented, but because he did have experience with, you know, like poverty, right? And he knew the struggle. And I think that that's what a lot of people care about at the end of the day is, you know, you don't want to see fucking Vanilla Ice showing up being like, oh yeah, I'm one of the streets. So hello, fellow street people.
Let's get the Drake biopic.
Yeah, the Drake. Oh God, don't get me started on fucking Drake. That's just Conclave. Is the Drake biopic?
That's Conclave.
Yeah.
Man, I got to see Conclave. How does Drake come up in Conclave?
Well, because he's a pedophile.
Oh, right. Whoop! Right over my head.
Yeah, it's not a great film, and honestly, you know, Eminem as an actor, I think he does a better job than you should expect from him. But still, there's plenty within the film where I'm like not convinced. He does a pretty good job in the like angry scenes, but there's some moments where I'm like, I'm not sure, buddy. But still,
yeah, and it's hard. He is just Eminem. You're like watching Eminem. It doesn't feel like you're like watching a character. You're watching Eminem play Eminem.
Well, I'm kind of curious. How did he follow up his career after this movie? Because you'd think he'd be in other big movies. Did he like try to do more of an acting career, or like what happened?
Let's see.
Just like random cameos, I think.
Well, he's
in like The Interview and Funny People, I remember.
Yeah.
That was a lot later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, his career, I'm just looking up the dates for this. When did Encore come out? Because that was the first album that was like kind of shit. Yeah. Encore came out. It was kind of bad. Then his best friend died. Then he got addicted to a bunch of pills. Then he made more really bad albums. Then he made an album about how he only made bad albums. people liked it more because he's like, I hate the other albums I've made. And then people liked that one more. And then he made another album, and then the critics didn't like it. And then he made another album complaining about how the critics didn't like his other album. And now he's like, he's got enough tracks recently that are like decent enough that people like him again. But just in terms of like the whole picture, the whole product of an album, he hasn't made a great album since like debatably the Eminem Show in like 2002 for me. So if anybody hasn't listened to Eminem and you would like to, I would go with Slim Shady LP, then the Marshall Mathers LP. Make sure you don't get Marshall Mathers LP 2 because that sucks and it's bad and it's not the same. And then Eminem Show is a good album, but just not, I don't know, like half of it's not as great. Just Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers are the two really, really great ones. Listen in that order.
But what about his movie career, though? Like, did he do any other movies right after this?
No.
No dramatic. No, just cameos and comedies, it looks like.
Yeah. I mean, like, what? I don't know if he was ever trying to make it as an actor. I think he was just kind of trying to capitalize on him being the biggest fucking star in the world at the time.
I mean, this is the best. I mean, this is the best advertisement for his, music.
Yeah.
Selling his music. So
he gets to be an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it paid off too. $41 million budget, $242 million gross. So
yeah,
they would have been happy with that in 2002.
Yeah. I would watch, I enjoyed the rap battle scenes so much. I was thinking I could watch a rap battle themed movie that doesn't have anything to do with Eminem. I could totally watch a rap battle movie.
Yeah, if that was the I'd way prefer that.
Yeah.
If each act was around some significant rap battles, yeah, I'd way prefer that.
Like a sports movie, but people are artistically insulting each other. It's so ideal.
Like epic rap battles.
Yeah. Yeah.
The movie. Yeah.
Epic Rap Battles of History, the movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Drake versus the Pope. Well, that's my phone. I gotta turn that off. Sorry. Oops.
Drake versus the Pope. Epic rap battles. Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're sitting on $100 million movie ideas right here. So Sony, if you're listening,
Sony, hit me the fuck up.
Yeah.
Come on. I could fix half of your movies just by not being a multimillionaire. And just having one grounded suggestion. Do you know how many things I could just have fixed about Kraven? Just make it more bearable. Just a little bit more bearable. That's it. Just make it fun. God. All you need is an idea from somebody that's not so fucking detached.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, I had fun watching this movie. I think that 8 Mile was a lot of fun. I'm really glad you recommended it because I wouldn't have watched it before otherwise. And also Nadia had a fun time watching it with me. So, yeah, it's feels like a good sports movie and subverted my expectations a little bit. So, but then again, I watched Kraven, so I guess it balances out, and I just kind of feel average, I guess, in life. I feel okay now. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't give it that Kraven bump.
That Kraven high.
Yeah. I'm pretty much there with you. I feel like I got a better impression of him as a person or a character here. I also wish they delved more into those kind of race dynamics you've been getting at. That is an interesting part of him that is kind of glossed over. And yeah, the same for the comedy. That is a big part I have always understood about his songs, how funny and clever they can be. I just don't feel like the writing or the dramatic writing is anywhere near the same level as that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just not really going to think about this again. It's, I don't know, something like Better Man is a way weirder, stranger biopic and something I'm
Spaghetti Man
more looking to see. But I'll take this over a Bohemian Rhapsody or
hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. Any day.
Yeah.
2.5 star from me. Right down the middle.
I was comfy with this rewatch. It wasn't amazing, and I wasn't expecting it to be. But it was a nice reminder of why I like the artist and why I watched this when I was younger, and the type of just how exciting everything was when he was creating new things that were great. Now he's still creating new things that I just don't care about, but he was a force to be reckoned with at a certain point in time, and it was nice being reminded of that era.
Yeah, if anything, it's a really interesting cultural artifact.
Yeah,
really a time capsule.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to debate between a high 5 and a low 6, but I don't feel like this conversation helped me solidify in either direction. What do I give it? You go first, Jake, and then if you give it.
Yeah, I'm going 6.
All right.
I'm just gonna give it a solid 6 because I have to edge on the fact that I had a good time. You know, it was fun and it was competent and pretty well made. It didn't do anything super exceptionally, but it was a good time.
I'll give it a low 6 then. Yeah, the sex scene was unearned. I'm giving it a 5. I lied. The sex scene was awkward and weird.
Oh yeah, the sex scene was very weird. It was more of a like foreboding tone during it because there's like no music. It's like, and they're in a factory.
It's so you can add your own music later. It's a fetish. It's like it's a little pause for porno.
Okay.
That was great.
You loved that decision,
which is actually the name of a track on 2001. Yeah, that was awkward.
It was off-putting and weird. Yeah.
It was like, hey, why don't we? There was a very fetishistic element to it, like the ooh, we're gonna get caught. I don't know. Fucking straight people are perverts, man.
I like when they set the house on fire, and Eminem's just like, "Oh dang, I should get out of this house."
Hey.
There's a lot of like mini conflicts in this film that either get resolved immediately or just like kind of don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very strange structure. Yeah, I'm comfy with a high five. We did it. We figured it out.
High five.
High five. Question time.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's do some questions then from the Sardonicast community. Head over to the suggestion thread over on the subreddit if you want to leave questions for future episodes, just like Ethan Mars Origami did. In honor of Lynch, what movies have you watched on your effing telephones? Yeah, R.I.P. Lynch. I guess that's happened since last episode. There'd been all these stories about his lung capacity, and he was a heavy smoker, so that's only a matter of time, unfortunately. Yeah, well, something you've watched on your phones in honor of Lynch.
Well, I don't know. Like sometimes I don't know if I've watched a full movie on my fucking telephone. I've definitely watched some TV show episodes.
I've watched TV.
Yeah. Last night,
I can't think of a movie.
I found on archive.org, there's a straight-to-video instructional VHS called How to Have Cybersex on the Internet from 1996. So I watched that on my telephone. It was very funny and awkward. Literally just, 1996, just a woman going like, you find a chat room and you say, I would like to have cybersex. It was a weird find. But I watched that film on my fucking telephone last night.
I watched a couple episodes of the new Squid Game on my fucking telephone, if that counts.
That's the way to do it.
Oh, disgusting. That deserves to be on the TV. Come on.
Yeah.
So,
show some respect.
Sorry.
I don't know if I've done a full film on my fucking telephone.
This is going to sound really crazy, but I'm pretty sure the first time I watched Stalker, I watched it on my phone.
Are you serious?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because this was before Criterion put out their Blu-ray, and it was for free. It probably still is for free on Mosfilm, the like Russian production channel. So I really wanted to watch it, and I think I just started it one day, and it is a hypnotic movie. So I just watched the whole thing. And you know what? I really feel like I got the same experience as if I had seen it on the TV. So I've seen it like on Blu-ray, several times now after that. But I don't know. I'm not a huge purist about those things.
Yeah.
As long as you're not like skipping around or watching it at 2 times speed, if you're just watching the movie. I mean, that's something that drives me crazy. Nadia will do that where she'll be like, I'm going to watch this movie on Netflix on her phone. And then 20 minutes later, she was like, oh, it was pretty good. And I'm like, what do you mean you finished it? I'm like, yeah, I skipped around a little bit. I went to the end when it got boring. I was like, you didn't watch it.
They wouldn't put those tools in if people didn't use it.
We got a based alert over here.
Yeah.
I do that if it's something that I have to watch but don't want to, and I've already watched it fairly in the first 30 minutes, and I realize that it's not working out for me. So there's like 3 movies maybe where I've gone the 2 times speed route and just like, okay, I've got 10 more movies to get through in the next 2 days. Like I have to just at least see how this fucking ends, and at least get the gist of whatever's going on here.
I don't blame you when you have that much. Yeah.
But I'm always honest about it. I never do that and then pretend I didn't. So I think that's the real.
Yeah. And that's why they cancel you. That's why they get mad, because of your honesty.
It's true. If I never said anything, there wouldn't be a controversy.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sure there's lots of people, especially like when you watch that many movies and you kind of know already.
Oh, critics especially
what to expect.
If you ever go to like critics screenings at film festivals, like there's so many people that just like walk out like fucking halfway through. Roger Ebert did like 3 or 4 different reviews where he said like the movie was so bad I didn't finish it. He still made the review. He talked about it. He was honest about what he said. You know, Are we going to retrospectively cancel him for that shit? Exactly. Like it's a valid part of your experience as long as you're honest about it. So people are dumb.
No, and it's very telling. Like it was so bad you couldn't finish it. Yeah. It's like with a book review, just like, I couldn't finish it. It wasn't worth the time.
Yeah.
What was the question? Oh yeah, fucking telephone. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we got that.
Rip Lynch. Rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah, rest in peace.
I mean, not buddy. I didn't know him. Sir.
Buddha James has one for us. Have you ever watched a movie/show just because of the controversy surrounding it? I had zero interest in seeing the Blake Lively film It Ends With Us, but all of the lawsuits coming out between Lively and the film's director, I'm admittedly curious to see the movie with all the extra real-life context now. Love you all.
I'm sure there's an example. Like if Emilia Perez was not directed by Jacques Audiard, who is a director that I really like in the first place, and of course I would have already watched it. If I hadn't heard about it up until this point, then I would be morbidly curious, because people are freaking out. I'd be like, what is this monstrosity that people are saying that people's jobs should be taken away from them over or whatever?
That's kind of why I watched it. I'd only seen the Sisters Brothers otherwise, which I really enjoyed. Yeah. But I saw the yes, like clip on Twitter or something. I was like, I got to see what is going on here. And similarly, like, it's why I saw Better Man as well. Like, a concept that crazy, and like just recently the films that have been causing these weird online controversies, I just can't predict. Like the stuff people get like mad at, and that was one of them. We kind of already covered it a little bit earlier in the show, but I just had to figure out like why are you getting so mad over this? Yeah, I thought for sure that was one that people would be into. I really thought the CG ape was the solution,
the magic
to all the problems. Yeah, I really thought that's all it took, but it's proved me wrong. So like, yeah.
There's probably so many movies that I've seen just because like they had some kind of controversy or drama around them. I'd say maybe the biggest, most controversial one that I saw because of its controversy would be like The Birth of a Nation, which is like a monstrous movie. But I'm happy that I saw it. But it is. I mean, however racist you think it is 10 times as racist. I assure you. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's
I'm also morbidly curious about it. I'll watch it at some point.
There are genuine, like you can see from like a cinematic level why it is significant, but it's a fascinating because it is historically very relevant to the rise of the Ku Klux Klan in the 1920s. Like it was literally a recruitment video that they would use. So kind of an argument for art being a really negative force in the world at times.
Yeah. It can be propaganda. Yeah. Art is very effective propaganda. We've been doing that for a while.
Yeah, true. I actually think of a lot of like horror films when I think of like controversial reputations they might have or something like this. Is the only reason I've seen like a Serbian film or Cannibal Holocaust, even Human Centipede, I guess, on a similar sort of line. Like it's the way people talk about it more than when you actually sit down and watch it and you're like, oh, okay.
This makes Jaws look like a funny movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Here's a fun little one from Bran the Flakes 88. What's a perfect mom movie and what's a perfect dad movie?
What was the Tom Cruise plane one sequel that came out?
Oh yeah, Top Gun.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick. That's a perfect dad movie.
For sure.
That is a perfect dad movie. So it's like The Godfather, I guess. It's quite a dad movie.
James Bond's a good dad movie.
Yeah. When I think mom movie, I think like Mamma Mia or something like that.
Mom's in the title.
Yeah, literally.
Mamma Mia. I love the idea of like mom movies and dad movies because it is like stereotypically so true in a lot of like Mamma Mia. Yeah, that's such a good mom movie.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick, great dad movie. I'll say like in my experience with my own parents, the one time I got my mom to really watch like an art film, like a movie, like a challenging art house movie with me. Because usually she'd fall asleep, like back in the day when I'd watch stuff in high school. The only movie she actually sat through the whole way was Fanny and Alexander.
Nice. That's a good movie.
And I was so shocked. I'm like, there's so many other like movies, but she was just totally sucked into it. And I was so happy. I think it's just a testament to that being a great mom movie.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's also very family oriented. I can see that being a thing that a lot of moms enjoy. Like the whole large family dynamic and like the traditional aspects of them like singing like Christmas songs and the dinners together, and like there's a lot about that I could imagine a lot of moms enjoying actually.
Yeah, it's a drama. Yeah.
My mom liked Nacho Libre.
Nice.
My mom loves like the Joker, so
what?
She's like obsessed with the Joker, so that's my favorite.
This explains a lot about you.
Your mom's a Joker fan. What'd she think of the sequel?
She hasn't even seen the new one.
Oh,
no, she's a new one hater.
Oh,
which makes her a Joker fan, right?
Oh, wait, so which Joker? Just the
2019.
Okay.
Yeah, just that one, no sequel.
Well, I mean, that was new pretty recently. What do you mean she doesn't like new things?
No, the new Joker, like last year Joker. I'm talking about the new Joker.
But she hasn't seen it. She's just expecting it to be bad as a sequel.
Oh, she just I talked to her about it. She's heard what people are saying.
Oh.
She's not interested in. It was the musical angle.
No, we need her review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess most people that liked the 2019 one probably would not like the sequels.
Well, yeah. Yeah, no one really saw it, so
yeah. All right. Good mom movies and dad movies.
I think of Lady Bird when I think of mom movies.
My dad likes Good, Bad, and the Ugly type movies also. Like Clint Eastwood stuff.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect dad movie. Yeah.
Oh, that's my dad too. I mean, my dad would show me like old John Ford and like Ford Apache, and I mean, I was named after like John Wayne movies, so
nice.
I think that that's like, and especially like with my dad's side of the family, they're all like obsessed with being like fake cowboys, growing up in Arizona and stuff. So
yeah,
I love westerns because of that.
Oh, like the Indiana Jones Last Crusade. That's quite a daddy one, like the.
Oh yeah.
Little dad character in there. Hell yeah. Yeah, we got some good ones in there.
Although, do you know what wouldn't be a good dad movie? Would be Indiana Jones 5.
It would just be sad and like.
Because it's about being old.
It's about being old.
You're old and miserable, aren't you, Dad?
Just fucking give up.
Yeah.
Another question?
Oh, man.
We can do a couple more and then.
This one from Jesse P. Graham. It's kind of a funny one. Have you ever felt a similar PADS, post-Avatar depression syndrome, type feeling after finishing another film? Not exactly a film, but while playing Persona 5 for the first time, I felt a certain wistfulness that I have never experienced. The journey the protagonist does go through, the relationship with his friends in the city, and he desires... Yeah. I kind of had this feeling before. Not like as far as like wanting to commit suicide because I'm not an avatar anymore. But I kind of feel that after like the Lord of the Rings trilogy or like a really good book or series or something. Like when it's over, that like wistful, I would like start this cycle up again to get to that high point. So maybe Yeah, but like when I finished like The Sopranos or something for the first time, like now what am I supposed to do? Now where am I supposed to put myself? I was so used to these guys.
Don't stop.
Now what?
I think that's more common, for TV shows and books than movies, because movies are more like rewatchable and you know that it's like a finite
One and
resource.
done, yeah.
But when a show ends, like that's a huge investment. And yeah, I felt that way with Succession, I'd say, when that ended. It's like,
yeah,
fuck.
good choice. Yeah.
Yeah. I got to revisit 6 Feet Under for sure. I feel that way kind of about Mass Effect because I just really enjoy being in that universe so much, but I also just wish it had a better ending.
Yeah. No, that's always a tough one.
It's not a nice feeling when it ends. It's annoying.
Yeah, you got to make a choice. Like, do I just stop at a certain point or
Yeah.
do I just... Yeah. Yeah, it never goes that way though.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, it's not really something I associate with film, to be honest. But shout out to all you Avatar heads that I guess are quite
Hell
sensitive.
Yeah. I love Avatar. I wanted to kill myself after watching it for good reasons.
See, that's what's so weird about that phenomenon. Which I mean, it's media. It probably happened to like 2 people, maybe 1.
Yeah.
But what's so weird about it is like they could have just, you would have gotten more Avatar content if you didn't. you would have lived
true.
to see the sequel. What do you mean?
That's why I choose to stay alive so I can see the 3rd one and the 10th one.
They're going to do fire next. They did water. They're doing fire in the next one.
Oh yes. Really though, really,
Like,
I
actually.
love Avatar. I love Avatar: The Way of Water. Oh my god, great movie.
It's a very wet movie.
It's so one of the wettest. Yeah.
So far.
We'll see if he can top it. Yeah. An even wetter Avatar.
All right, one more question.
Yeah, let's wrap up on this one from Comfortable Ad 6590. For Adam, I was looking through some of your ratings on Letterboxd and saw you gave The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride 1998 a 1 out of 10. I couldn't find anywhere where you voiced your cause as to why you dislike it this much, and I was wondering if you'd share. For the record, I thought it was pretty average. And Alex and Jake, if you've watched any of the Disney direct to video/DVD sequels, what would you say is the worst one and why? Thanks, guys. So I've definitely seen that one. I remember watching it a bunch as a kid, actually. It's got like the young Scar kind of character
Kovu?
or something. Yeah, that's it. It's like his son or
dweeb.
some shit. Yeah.
Furries love Kovu, but I don't know. He's not as great, in my opinion. Obviously. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. I don't know. I hate the idea of cynically making a cash grab like that with every single element of the film being a half-assed attempt. Like they didn't try with the animation. They didn't put enough money into it, obviously. Like when you're an adult, especially, you can tell the drastic difference in quality in terms of the animation, like style, the songwriting even. And then in terms of the script and story, so much of it is just like beat by beat trying to mirror and follow the original film, which it's like the laziest fucking approach. It's like, oh, we're going to do this beat from the original film here, and except it's going to be this character. It's going to be with his daughter. We're going to do this beat here, except it's going to be with this character. And it's just like, oh, fuck, do something new or original. It's just, I don't know. There's some people that really like the film, namely furries, but I haven't seen it in a while. So on rewatch, it probably wouldn't be a 1 out of 10, but I just remember not enjoying it and kind of being irritated by it in general. So I'll rewatch it at some point for sure, just for the sake of expressing my criticisms.
Yeah. I remember, like, even without knowing why, just kind of instinctually poo-pooing them as a child, mostly because of just how different they look. Like, they look budget, like, in comparison. Like Tarzan 2 or whatever, or Aladdin 2.
Wait, it's not the same.
Bambi 2? Yeah, you can just tell. And I didn't like them quite enough to the degree where I could look past just that obvious cheapness in comparison. Which is funny because, like, They kind of do exploit these brands in other ways now, but I feel like they're kind of more protective. They don't like rush them out in the same way. Actually, it's now I say that out loud. They kind of do just do it, but it's to streaming now instead of straight to DVD. Moana 2 was supposed to be like a streaming thing, right? That they just put out.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So yeah, I've eaten my own words before I could even finish what I was saying. So.
Oops.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like now instead of just putting shitty direct-to-DVD sequels, they're just like, we can just put it in theaters and people can't tell the difference now. I mean, I remember watching The Lion King 1.5 when I was a kid, and I was like, this is great. This is so cool. And then I grew up, and I have no desire to watch that ever again. Just like I have no desire to ever see Moana 2 ever again.
Yeah.
Is that the one where it's like, hey, it's The Lion King, but from a different angle type thing?
They fucking retcon everything.
Right. Yeah, I never saw that one.
And it's just Timon and Pumbaa. And I don't even know if like it's fucking Nathan Lane playing Timon in it or anything. Like, I don't even know. We were there the whole time, actually. We were there in this scene and this scene. All right. Thank you for the questions.
We did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
It's time for a recommendation. I think it's my turn. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Uh-huh. We're gonna do a donkey film. It's called
Donkey film.
Oh, Hazard Balthazar.
Oh, yeah.
By Robert
Let's go.
Bresson.
Yeah.
And I'm wanting to check out more directors from this era, also particularly French. I haven't checked out a Bresson film yet, and so I wanted to.
Oh my gosh!
I wanted to pop that
that's
cherry
exciting.
at some point. So,
hell yeah!
Cool.
It's from 1966. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Hazard, I don't even know how to pronounce this one. I'm sorry. Hazard Balthazar.
Al Hazard Balthazar. Al Hazard.
Ow, Hazard Balthazar. Then watch it before the next episode comes out. These episodes come out every 2 weeks. You can listen early. Go to patreon.com/Sardonicast or Sardonicast.com and sign up for premium. Or click the join thing on the YouTube members thing right there, okay? We need more money. Because Jake...
I'm leeching off of all the...
Jake's in the pie now. So you got to make it worth it, okay? Do you want to keep seeing Jake?
Yeah. I thought you guys were just paying me with gum.
With gum?
Yeah, it's like 5 gum. I thought that's...
No,
that
like the soap-flavored gum?
With guns. We pay you in guns. You're like the American. Right?
Well, yeah, it's the American in me, yeah.
All right. Wait, I forgot other things. Go check out the Sardonicast highlights channel. That's a thing. You can go there and subscribe. Hit the bell on this one, why don't you? All right. I think we did it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a happy day.
Happy day.
Happy day. Have a happy day. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.